Good evening. Good evening. How we doing? Today is Thursday, May the 27th, 2021. We're just coming live to you today for our self-directed IRA talk. Tonight, we're going to be discussing things you need to know when using your IRA to invest in real estate. Either real estate notes. We're going to deal with real estate notes and lending money from your IRA, because you can be a lender uh, with your IRA if you do move it into a self-directed IRA. We've been just trying to let people know about self-directed IRAs. If you go to my YouTube channel, Abundant Capital Group, you'll see a video on there with Scott Ritchie of Next Generation Trust Company that I did. I interviewed him. He was talking about the benefits of a self-directed IRA. You have more control over it. You can invest in more things that you may know about or think that are better investments, as opposed to the traditional accounts that only invest in paper assets or the stock market. So if you want, you can go check that out. There are other videos there. I have a playlist for self-directed IRA talks that I've done if you want to go look at that. But basically, you can use a self-directed IRA to invest in real estate. So people that have been working, saving up, for retirement, you can put those funds to work. And now is a really good time to look at real estate note investing as a real estate strategy that you may want to add to your portfolio. If you're already doing some real estate, you can do, real estate notes as well. So I would suggest, you look into real estate note investing and, see if it's something that fits what it is that you're trying to do. And like I said, we'll talk about self-directed IRAs when it comes to investing in real estate. So with that being said, I'm just going to go over a few things that you need to consider and think about when you are using a IRA, a self-directed IRA, to invest in real estate. The first thing is never loan or buy with an IRA funds on a property that you don't mind taking back. If you are going to loan money from your IRA to someone for a property, for a project, or if you're going to do it yourself, fix and flip, or if you're thinking about, doing a rental property, whatever part of real estate you're going to use to invest from your IRA, you always want to keep in mind or have strategies if you have to take this property back. Am I okay taking the property back? With real estate notes, a lot of times we make sure that you are in a good equity position in terms of where the market is. Obviously, if the market changes and changes dramatically, you have to reassess things at that time. But at the time of the purchase, you try to make sure that you have a good equity position in terms of your investment, because it's really not equity, but in terms of your investment to value ratio, we try to keep that at about 70%, maybe 75 at the max or lower. So now, if you take this property back, I can be okay. I have a few different exit strategies, a few different things that I can do to make sure that I recoup on my investment, and my investment gives a good return for me. So just try to keep in mind, if I do have to take this property back, am I okay with that? Will I be okay with that? And the numbers really speak to whether or not you should be okay with it. If you're in a property for 90 cents on the dollar, 85 cents on the dollar, you may not be as comfortable taking that property back, because, you have very little window there to either sell that property or do something else with it. So when you're lending your money, you want to make sure that you're in a good position, and if you're okay with having to take the property back and going to do something else with it. So second one here is do not advance IRA money for repairs until repairs are confirmed. So with IRAs, self-directed IRAs specifically, you can lend for repairs. And because I'm actually working on something with someone that is going to lend me a certain amount of money to do some cosmetic repairs on the property just to get it in decent shape so you could possibly sell it or whatever it is that, whatever exit strategy we wind up doing with it. But so I'm going to make sure that they don't give any money to anyone who worked on this particular property until that work is done. I'll have that person if they want to come and see, or, I'll do a video or something like that to show whatever, we are using their money to do gets completed, so then they can send the funds, or the funds can be released to that particular person. So you don't want to do that if you are loaning money. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, you can do a lot of different things with self-directed IRAs. And so, if you are loaning for not just repairs, if you're loaning for, anything, you just want to make sure that, that stuff is getting completed properly in a timely fashion before you release the money. Do not loan funds if you don't feel comfortable foreclosing on that particular person. If you're in business with a relative, a good friend of yours, whatever the case may be, whatever the relationship is, if you in the back of your mind are going to feel bad if something goes wrong and have to take back this property, I would say, you don't want to lend your money in that scenario. You don't want to use your IRA funds to do that, because that, things happen in real estate. I mean, everything can look good on paper. Life happens to some people. The market changes or anything can happen. We try to lower that risk for you as much as possible, but, nothing is 100% when you're talking about investing in real estate or anything else for that matter. So if something does go wrong, some people don't have the heart to, and I'm not saying that in a disparaging way, but they don't want to foreclose on their friend or somebody that they know, or have to go take a property back from someone. It could cause a problem, family, close friends, things like that. So if that's not something that you feel comfortable with, don't do it. We'd say, don't do that. Allow them to maybe go to someone else. Maybe you can refer them to a friend and tell them, look, I do loan my money this way. This person is thinking about doing it this way. You don't have to feel bad if you have to take the property back. So next thing is take immediate action if there is a default. Now, this is what real estate notes, as well as if you're lending money. The first time that you don't receive a monthly payment, or something in the agreement is not adhered to by the other party, you want to take action right away. We have to handle business in a business fashion, and the more that you kind of give certain people leeway and things of that nature, and not going after, to try to remedy this situation early on, a lot of times the worse that it gets in the end. So if you do have a note, if you buy a real estate note and your borrower for whatever reason doesn't pay, you need to have your servicer or someone contact them, make sure that they're reaching out with letters, trying to make contact with this particular person, letting them know that, we do have solutions. If you just contact us, you want to jump on it right away. And a lot of times this is handled by a third party. If you are loaning money, then obviously you as the individual will most likely have to, call your attorney and, try to jump on this right away to make sure that, everything gets cured, or we can try to figure out a way to rectify the situation. But don't prolong. Don't say, oh, okay, I know this person, 60 days goes by, 90 days, and then it's like, now it might be too late. So jump on it right away. Collect monthly interest payments. A lot of times when we try to structure deals with self-directed IRA holders and people with private money, is we try to make it interest-only payments. And so we want to make those payments on a monthly basis. Some people, a lot of times, I would say once you've built up a relationship with someone, if you borrowed money from them on multiple projects, maybe at that particular point you don't collect a monthly payment from them. But in the beginning, when you're just starting to do this, make sure that you are collecting, those monthly interest-only payments, each month. Make sure that is coming in. And like I said, if you do a deal, and maybe on the second or third deal that you do with somebody, they came back to you, if you want to say, well, you don't have to make me a monthly payment, I'll collect all those payments at the end. You can do that because you built a relationship. But starting out, you want to make sure that you are collecting those. You want to make sure that you are collecting those payments on a monthly basis. So another thing is hire professionals to evaluate the deal. That's kind of what I do. Um, if you know other real estate uh, agents, professionals, attorneys, things of that nature, you want to hire professionals to make sure that they're looking at the deal and making sure that things are structured so you are protected. So, that is very important. This is your retirement account. You want to make sure that that money, is there, when you do need it later on down the line. And then again, there's different ways to overcome if there are issues along in the process. But you have to make sure that you're hiring professionals. And that's part of what I do. If anybody, wants to, talk further about this and possibly do something, I am one of the professions that you would hire. You want to have your attorneys, you want to have proper title companies, you want to have, proper inspections if you need things of that nature. So you want to have professionals, surround yourself by professionals, and we can help you with that. You want to get in title insurance for your loan if you do loan money. This will protect you in case if there is a defect on the title or something comes up later on. If you have title insurance, the title company will be responsible for any type of defects on the title, any mistakes that they made. It won't be on you. You won't be stuck. There's another lien on the property that needs to get paid off or whatever that you didn't know about at the time when you loaned this money. It won't be on you as long as you have the title insurance. And you want to have that in place. When you are loaning money. When you're buying a note, you don't necessarily need title insurance when you're doing that, because you do check the title prior to purchasing a note, and you look at the chain of title prior to you purchasing a note. So you don't need to get title insurance because you would have seen the chain of title prior to. So this is more for when you're lending money. You want to verify flood hazard insurance is in place with your IRA as a named insured when you are loaning money, or if you are buying a note. You want to make sure that the insurance names you as a payee if something happens, a big flood or obviously fire damage and everything like that. This is ways that you protect your position and your asset by making sure that this is in place. A lot of times you go through all this other stuff, and then when you get down to the end, you kind of forget about making sure that you're named on the insurance, and that's very important. So you got to make sure that you do that. And you want to make sure that the borrower provides proof that they are paying the property taxes and their insurance. A lot of times when you buy a note or when you lend money, it's going to be left up to the owner or whoever you lend the money to make sure that they're keeping up with the taxes and insurance. But you want to make sure that those get paid. If you have to put it on your calendar to call, every 3 months. Usually it's collected quarterly. You just want to call the town and make sure that it is paid, because then that could become a problem if it's not being paid. So you want to get proof from the person that you lend money to, or if you are investing in notes, and it's not escrowed. If it's not escrowed in the payment that you're going to be receiving, you want to make sure that your servicing company keeps up and make sure that that gets paid. And then if it doesn't get paid, you have to, you probably want to, make a payment yourself so you don't lose your position as a note holder. Your position doesn't get wiped out by a tax lien or tax foreclosure, tax sale. So, those are, just a few things that, that you want to do. And then lastly, you just want to understand the foreclosure laws and wherever it is that you're lending this money. You don't have to always just lend money in the state that you live in. You can, lend to people in other states. And again, there's ways to protect yourself. There's things to put in place to make sure that you are protected. In the worst case scenario, if you have to take the property back, you're in a good position if you take it back, if you have to sell it. So you want to understand, the foreclosure laws in certain areas. New Jersey is going to be different than Ohio. Ohio is going to be different than Florida, and so on and so forth. So, you just want to have some familiarity with that. Maybe that's something that you discuss with your professional that we talked about earlier. They can say, hey, if you do have to take this property back, we're looking at 90 days. In some states, you can do it as fast as 90 days. In a place like New Jersey, it may take up to a year to take the property back. But don't let that scare you, because when you're lending money, contracts can be drawn up in a way that if the person stops paying, that the property automatically reverts back to you as the lien holder, where you don't have to necessarily go through with a long foreclosure. So that's just a little secret there. But how we put things together, documentation and the paperwork kind of helps you with that. If you're going to invest in this part, only in New Jersey or in this area here. But, try to understand the foreclosure laws, where you're at, and lending money, and if you are buying notes. So those are just a few things that, we wanted to talk about when it comes to investing with your IRA. You probably want to use these same things if you are just using your regular capital to invest, or to invest with someone else and loaning money and things of that nature. So you want to, maybe, use these things in that fashion as well. But a lot of this was directed towards people that are going to be using their self-directed IRA funds. There's a lot of money in self-directed IRAs and just IRAs in general out there that, could be in the marketplace right now. And, if you know anybody with an IRA that's, wants to get a higher rate of return on their money safely, and grow that IRA, more, grow it fast. We'd love to talk to them. We'd love to sit down, have a conversation, see what they're trying to do, introduce them to the real estate note industry, show them the benefits of it, and it's become the bank on the property. You're not dealing with toilets and fixing stuff and tenants and all that other stuff. You're not dealing with that. You are just the bank. And as you know, banks have the biggest buildings in every city around this country for a reason, because they take money in and they lend it out at a higher amount. So, if you want to become the bank and learn how to become the bank, please reach out. My telephone number is 973-475-8488. You could reach me by email, which is acg@abundantcapitalgroup.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Abundant Capital Group. We're here Monday nights. We're talking about real estate note investing. More specifically, if you want to join me Monday nights about 7:30. We don't go long. Right now, I'm just about the 20-minute mark. We usually go anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I see that there are some people that are on here. If they have any questions, if you want to, ask a question, post a question, I'll try to answer those real quick. If not, then, I'll jump off for today. But we're usually here Monday nights and Thursday nights at 7:30. Thursday, we kind of focus on self-directed IRAs and different aspects of that. We try to just, go into different areas about the self-directed IRA and some of the benefits and some of the things that you can do with them. And then on Mondays, we focus in on real estate note investing. So it doesn't look like we have any questions. I appreciate people who jumped on. If you think of something later, you can always reach out. Again, my telephone number 973-475-8488, or you can email me at acg@abundantcapitalgroup.com. Everybody have a good night. Have a safe holiday. Enjoy yourself. Tomorrow may not be as nice, Friday, but I think the rest of the weekend is going to be nice. So enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next week. We probably won't be on Monday because it's a holiday. I know everybody's going to be out having fun, but we'll be back definitely next Thursday talking about self-directed IRAs, and then we'll pick up the following Monday with our real estate note talk. All right, everyone. Have a good night.